You go for it, mate.
I'll go for it.
You're the resident expert.
Hello and welcome back to EPIC48 with Intel, sponsored by Overclockers, Republic Gamers, and these fancy XP Pro glasses. They look much more orange on camera than they are in real life, I think, but there we go. We're back. I'm here with Azures. How's it going?
All good, mate. All good. You enjoying the LAN?
A really good time, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been great. Been pretty chill.
Good turnout, and hopefully some interesting games. This one is a Zerg versus Zerg. It is Fjant versus Lorimbo in the upper bracket. So yeah, pretty good, pretty exciting.
Yeah, fully expect Lorimbo to be the aggressor and Fjant to be batting off whatever he throws him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're both kind of tricky players. I think that's fair to say, though. Yeah, I think that's what we'll see.
I think Lorimbo is going to have a few tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah. They are asking for a couple minutes, so we can talk about the maps. We were just talking about the maps before it started. First Washout, second Lockdown, third Eternity, and if we get there, Rainfall, and then Sanctuary. And these are like all of the top 2-player maps, pretty much in order, which I think is kind of what we've been seeing a lot of so far. They've been mostly really standard, like normal maps that people are kind of okay with. And
yeah.
I don't know that we've had any stream games on like the 4-player maps, but they're in the pool, just not that popular.
Yeah, seems to be the way. Starcraft players like repetitive repetition. They like things, repeating things and doing it well and getting better at each time, and obviously adding things that add variance into it. You know, they kind of sort of complete opposite of that. So
yeah, absolutely. The players say they're ready, so we're gonna start the countdown into game number 1. So yeah, Washout. Washout is an interesting one because the rush distance is quite short, but the map is actually quite big, like outside of that. So yeah, we'll see. I'm guessing pool first.
is this the map where it's slightly more difficult to take like the 4th and 5th bases? They're slightly spread out.
Let's have a look. We'll have a look before we do the caster thing. So yeah, the second is kind of normal, and then I think you have to take this triangle third.
No, this isn't the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
There's one where the base is like there's like probably like another 50% of the gap between the 4th and the 5th. But
this one's not too bad. It is down a ramp, which kind of makes it a little harder to take, but there's a decent choke here. And then this one is the kind of half gold base.
Yeah.
Although yesterday I said it's a third gold because it's 3 gold. But it turns out if you kill this tower, it breaks these 3. But that rarely comes up. But there you go.
I haven't seen that.
So this one, yeah, it's apparently quite good for Zerg. Not super important. It's a mirror match, right? But this is kind of the natural 4th that you're meant to take after taking the triangle third.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Spawning in the top right of Washout Ladder Edition, playing in the purple for Team Air, it is Lorimbo.
And spawning into the bottom left-hand side, wearing the yellow, playing Zerg as well, it's Fjant.
They both did an extractor trick, doing the exact same thing so far.
Yeah.
Now it's either going to be 16 pool or hatch first. I'm guessing.
Looks like pool for Fjant. Yeah.
That gives that one away.
Looks like Lorimbo's going to be going for the hatch.
It's interesting. So the 16 pool, like obviously it has some kind of aggressive side, but it's kind of more defensive. Like the really early pools, like 8, 10, 12 pool are like where you're actually going really aggro. 16 pool is like more like defensive macro.
Yeah, defensive macro. Get his queens out earlier, get his lings out a little bit earlier. I guess if you feel like you're the better player, you're probably going to play into this position where you're still playing macro, but you're just a little bit safer because you feel like even if I'm a couple of drones behind, so what? I'm the better player.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Gas on the way. Fjant is playing the gas as well. So the kind of gas timings are the same. The pool will be done for Fjant, and I think he'll make a few lings. Maybe he skips them. Because obviously he has the pool done, so he could go across. I think he might be waiting with this first scout overlord.
Just to see the hatchery timer.
Yeah. I mean, you'll see that it's like, it's really standard timing.
Yeah, it's a bit quicker than him, and I think there's not much to worry about.
Yeah. So I think these are just 2 safety lings. I think on some maps you can kind of get the scout off and then kind of reactively make the lings, but obviously you don't want to be sitting with like too much lava pooling before you decide what to do. So these I think are just going to go for a scout, which is also quite helpful, get into the main, check the work account, keep people honest. We saw AC with an interesting build yesterday that was like a really fast hatch and then gas and then pool straight away afterwards. So that was like more of a ling flood build, but looks like a hatch first, so it could maybe be a bit tricky like that. And Fjant's going to double check and make sure that that's not the case. Speed.
Yeah, starts off them both pretty much the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see just from Fjant getting his hatchery a tiny bit later, he's like a couple of workers down on the lorimbo, but still in a completely playable position.
Yeah, I
and,
mean, his queen is slower, I think. Oh no, he already has one. Yeah, so I guess his queen is slightly faster, and then his second might be slightly slower, but
yeah, it's all much of a muchness at this point.
yeah, exactly right.
Pretty level.
Lair on the way already. It's pretty aggro.
That's a pretty quick lair, yeah. I mean,
think
especially for this patch, like if you think everything's a little bit slower, and you'd think a 3-minute lair was pretty quick on 12 worker start, it's exceptionally quick on an 8 worker start.
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, he kind of knows the opening that Fjant went with, so he knows that there's like not too much to worry and not like a super all-in. Don't know that he scouted this, and he doesn't have an overlord that can see it. Or maybe he did. I think this overlord just came back, so I think he did see this.
I'm not sure. He was moving that before the drone came out. He moved it back. He sort of followed the lings a little bit as they went up, so I'm not sure if he has seen it.
Fjant is going to get scout off with these lings. It's going to be really nice. Might just go straight for a drone, maybe.
Yeah, I think he's valuing the info more now. If he just wants to keep them alive right now, he's going for the drone.
But obviously, important to see the lair.
Yeah,
I didn't notice he cancelled the speed to get the lair out.
Right. Yeah, I didn't see that in the production tab either.
Good save on this one drone, so doesn't lose anything to the 2 lings, but at the same time, the information is really important. It's going to be a Roach Warren in the front, but this feels wrong. It feels like it might be a Spire, but he might be like bailing on the Spire idea now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the Spire's down. The Spire's down.
Yeah, he's still going for it.
It's the only thing that really makes sense, right? Like, why else would you be rushing the lair?
Yeah, exactly. And also, the timing is wrong if you go for the Roach Warren.
Yeah, exactly. Because then it doesn't time out with speed. Yeah, exactly. You want the Roach Warren finish when the lair finished. Yeah, I was thinking in my head, like, what's he doing? It's either got to be Muta or it's got to be Nidus. Like, the 2 real main options.
Exactly.
Up with the lair.
Yeah, so he could like go straight Nidus down, but obviously not going for that. Don't think this is enough lings to be too scared. Although he does need to be careful with this queen. Doesn't want to lose that. Yeah, he's going to wall behind it. Not bad though, not bad trade I think. Getting rid of the queens is quite good.
Might be able to eat through this queen as well. He's going to wall again.
So now he's forced to make defensive roaches to try and hold this back. I swear he started melee here. I might be seeing things. But I thought he started melee and then cancelled it and switched to the speed.
I mean, this is going to be pretty bad for his production, right? Because he's just lost all his queens on the natural. And I mean, how many queens is he down to? Just the one in the main?
I think he's got none now. I think.
Were they the 2 queens?
Yeah,
right.
He only
I didn't realise he was only on 2 queens.
Yeah, I think the lair, like you were saying, because it was super early, I think that really cut into his queen production.
Yeah, no, we'll do. Obviously, he's doing a pretty, tight all in. You've probably got the money to be building extra queens.
It's interesting he's going so many upgrades at the front here. So this is like 3 mutas worth of upgrades right now. But he is actually making the mutas behind.
It's, pretty interesting. Yeah, like you say, a lot of gas invested in those upgrades which aren't yet finished, and he also is trying to produce mutas. So sort of the, 2 conflicting things. Like, because you could have like an extra 4 or 5 mutas of all that gas.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's kind of interesting to go for a few mutas but not really commit to it.
Yeah, I think it's a fake out, isn't it? He's like, look at me, I'm cheesing mutas out, and then he's going to pop up with 1/1 roaches.
Yeah.
But Fjant will have seen this, right? He's seen the Evos wiggling, he's seen the Roach Warren wiggling, and he's like,
Yeah, I mean, one thing you can say about how Fjant's played this game is that he's had really good vision all game, and even the Overseer went down, but like the Overseer went down to the mutas, so like he saw the mutas, and then he's re-scouting the front, so he's kind of seen everything.
Yeah. I think that's what separates like the really, really good players. Like, they're constantly taking in info and like, reevaluating the decisions based on that info.
Yeah. So losing these roaches, like obviously it looks kind of bad, but actually this is kind of good in that it buys him a lot of time.
Yeah.
You kind of just have to send the roaches across because they're not going to be super useful, especially because Lorimbo is on 2 bases. You know that he's not got a huge eco to make a load of lings behind or something. So losing a few roaches like that is completely fine while you like establish your queens, get spores up, get in position. Doesn't want to lose too many workers here. Oh, but a muta goes down is really bad for Lorimbo because like we said, he's only ever planning on making these 7, I think.
Yeah, I was just thinking with the changes to like the lava spawn rate, does that make that's made the queens slightly less important, I'd assume, in terms of production, but it would still hurt, right, losing those queens early.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really hurts. Yeah, it basically doubles your lava production. Probably slightly less now with the buff, like you said, but yeah, still important. I will say, it does make the 3rd hatch more important because you just have another hatch passively making
which is
lava
exactly, which is still boosted by the the patch effect.
Yeah. It does actually look like we're coming out of this pretty even, and Lorimbo actually taking a supply lead. Fjant was playing this kind of safe and did cut workers a bit. Obviously, he's back up now to a really good number. And then I think the supplies will even out as he starts to get roaches out behind this.
Yeah, he probably got really weirded out and confused for a second with everything that was happening. He was like, "Oh, it's me. Wait, there's roaches. Wait, there's roach upgrades." It was like, yeah, and he was trying to obviously decide what he was going to do. Throwing your opponent off can be like a big thing, a big advantage sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Sort of knocking them out of their stride just by them trying to read the info, because he obviously knows he's such like a cerebral player who's like trying to make reads on all the info, and then he's like, "What the fuck is this info?"
Yeah, and you're right, and just like making sure you're responding properly is kind of then the most important thing. These meters haven't got too much done, but they give you a lot of map control. I don't think too many overlords went down. Yeah, only one on either side. So Fjant doing a good job of like bringing his overlords back and not losing too much of the muters. But what this does mean is that lorimbo is really safe to keep all of his overlords on the map. So he's got much better like map control and map vision.
Yeah, that's definitely what he was given. Yeah, really good map control.
So it's not like Fjant can run some roaches round and start counterattacking, because they'll run under an overlord and be seen straight away. And then the muters swoop in and kind of clear it up. Be interested to see who goes for a fourth next. I wonder if Fjant kind of wants to go this way, but he might expand kind of this way as well. Though they're both kind of on low worker count, so maybe not looking to take that next base just yet.
I mean, that feels like a big change with the patch. Like staying on lower base counts is a lot more viable.
Yeah, for sure. And in ZVZ it's so hard, because whoever, like, they're so even in eco and in supply, whoever starts spending more on eco earlier puts themselves at such risk of just getting A-moved and overwhelmed by like
100%. Mirror matchups are especially volatile, aren't they? And then like you say, it's not always just the resource as well. It's like the extra space you're trying to spread yourself over as well, right?
Yeah,
you're trying to defend like your fourth base, but then you're super out of position for your natural and your third.
Yeah.
And a really good player like Fjant, he could pull you all over the place. Just pull off a little pack of roaches.
So lorimbo's kind of doing that now. He is attacking here in here on the third, and this is not a great fight. Fjant coming behind with quite a few roaches. The fight on the left though is going lorimbo's way. In the meantime, the muters are going to snipe the roach runner. No, nice transfuses from Fjant, showing really good multitasking. I think he wins this fight on the left now, but does need to be careful not to lose the base over on the right. I think
he's got the split slightly wrong here. Lorimbo looks pretty strong for it.
Yeah, he has an upgrade advantage for the next few seconds. Fjant's +1 carapace is not quite done yet. With the Hydras here, I think this fight does start to go Fjant's way.
Do we think the Hydras are the right call? I feel like Hydras, like the guy goes Hydras first, like historically always seems to do badly because they're so squishy.
Yeah, in a straight up fight, they're actually weaker than roaches.
Yeah, they just don't have the sustain, right? Roach is really tanky.
And I think he kind of made them so that he could go across, but now lorimbo threw the muters away, so the Hydras are not that good. If you can keep them alive, they like eventually pay off. But like you say, they're so squishy.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Lorimbo's closing in here. If we're looking at the army supply, and Lorimbo is doubling Fjant's army supply right here, and he's going to knock down this third base.
This hatch is definitely gone, and then the production becomes so tricky. And Fjant actually doesn't have the gas, so the minerals he's floating with. The gas mining is the real problem here.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like he's absolutely crippled in terms of economy now.
It's going to be really tough, and I do think lorimbo might kind of go for the kill here. I think he can do it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think looking at what we can see, obviously that they can't see that like lorimbo is so massively ahead in terms of army supply.
Pulling the workers is never what you want to do in a ZVZ. I mean, they absolutely melt to these +2 roaches, and there's actually not enough army here for Fjant at the same time, so a lot of roaches are going to go down. I think the army behind it all will also not be enough.
Yeah, it's got more. And that's GG.
There you go, game number 1. A bit of an upset,
Oh, it's definitely an upset in terms of the MMR, Fjant's like, good, like 500, 600 MMR?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, I wouldn't say a better known player. Everyone knows lorimbo, of course, infamous for his casting at Home Story Cup, which you got a chance to do last Home Story. That was pretty cool.
Fun. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw you on the couch. But yeah, I think we predicted that he was going to sort of be the aggressor and have a game plan, and he really did that, didn't he? It was a really, really well thought out build, and obviously, really knocked Fjant off kill there.
Yeah, we're going into lockdown for game number 2. I think that really worked for lorimbo, and I think, there's always this like mentality when you're playing in this tournament, like, do I just do that again? It worked once. I don't know that it works every time, and I think Fjant
would play it differently. If he had the chance to play that game again, he definitely would do things differently.
Yeah. So I guess, maybe game number 2 we see a different prepared build, like something more aggro, an earlier pull, that sort of thing. Because lorimbo started that game out by playing really kind of heavy eco, which is kind of not what we were super expecting.
Yeah, well, the cheesiest thing a cheeser can do is macro.
Yeah, absolutely right. Cool. We are loaded in on Lockdown LE. Spawning in the bottom left, playing in the purple, taking an early lead in this series, it's lorimbo.
And spawning up into the top right-hand side. We're in the yellow, playing for Team Rotty still, is he?
Yeah.
It's Fjant.
Yeah, I think he might be the one on Team Rotti the longest. There's been quite a few.
Yeah,
no,
he was one of the first players that Roy picked up. I do remember.
10 pool. So actually going really aggro instead of.
This is really interesting for like the perceived better player to be saying, right, I'm going to be the one bringing it to you. But this can also work as well. And like you say, you know, you're much more familiar with these two players, being a Zerg player yourself.
Yeah.
Fjant's obviously capable of this kind of thing. I'm assuming he's doing it when he's playing the the
yeah,
players who are perceived better than him. When he's like,
exactly.
playing like a Lambo or an Alazer, he'd be bringing this kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And you see it on ladder, and Zerg vs Zerg gets kind of a bad rap, and like people don't enjoy it that much. I quite like it because I think it's a really interesting matchup in that, like, I don't know that there are many other matchups where you'd see like a Terran choosing a Terran out when it's like the Terran is favored, or a Protoss choosing the Protoss out when the Protoss is favored. I don't know.
It is very different. It's a very different. There's definitely multiple ways to play the early game in ZVZ as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as a toss, I guess that Proxy Robo is just really good pretty much always. So a lot of people always play Proxy Robo. It
definitely was pre-patch. I mean, it's probably still strong now. But like, the builds have all changed and everything's all changed so much. There's been a lot of more early gateway shenanigans with the the buff to like gateway production.
Yeah. So maybe Protoss, you do see like some kind of these cheeses, but there's nothing as scrappy as like
there is. Obviously, if you play the matchup yourself, you sort of find that sort of beauty in the scrappiness of it. I feel like people who don't play it, obviously, they don't appreciate those nuanced details of it.
Yeah, I think you're right. So yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of Zerg vs Zerg for better or for worse. Like that's just the nature of
so get used to it.
Yeah, but I think I'm hoping then I can try and convince people that it's actually fairly interesting.
If you keep saying that, I think they might believe you.
And in this game, we are going to see Fjant going really aggro here.
Yeah.
An important point here is that maybe his control is better and he can like leverage that.
Definitely
over the kind of weaker player. So. Yeah. So Lorimbo is zoning out the kind of reinforcement lings at the moment with his workers and kind of needs to take a good fight here. A couple workers are going to go down pretty early, doing a good job of pulling back the weak ones so far.
He's trying to buy time for his own lings, right, and his own queens.
Yeah, so the first lings are going to pop now. Fjant can kind of use this choke to try and take a better fight against the purple lings.
This seems to have gone okay for Lorimbo so far.
Yeah, I think this is pretty good. I think Lorimbo's starting to lose a lot of lings now, so he's going to have to pull the workers again. He's only making the queen in the natural, and it's actually still not even spawned yet. There's actually still a lot of lings here for Fjant. We have to wait till the smoke clears and we see, all said and done, who made what and who's lost what.
I think these last few lings should seem good. He just can't afford to lose many more workers, which Fjant has taken a worker lead now.
Yeah. All said and done, 4 workers, 10 lings for the 12 lings. So a pretty good trade for Fjant. I think he'll be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, 100%. He's given himself a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah. 4 workers is kind of what you need to be aiming for. Like, he's 4 workers ahead. If he killed no workers, it'd just be like pretty dead even. But Lorimbo would have a pretty good production advantage because his queen is done.
He'd probably boost a bit ahead because he'd have the quicker queens.
So like 4 drone kills is probably where you want to be. The kind of downside for Lorimbo is he lost quite a lot of lings as well, just from Fjant taking slightly better fights with the micro.
Potential.
So yeah, I mean, he made even more lings. I think these might have been like meant to be defensive, and then he's having to use them aggro. But hopefully, Fjant has a couple queens here, and he can try and clear this up. Yeah, a 3rd queen spawn. So this is a snipe on the queen's not too bad, but it's quite expensive.
But he realizes quick enough. He's got a queen, and then obviously he's going to be annoying with these few lings that are left, taxing his APM a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, even getting a scout off is not too bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Tells you things like the gas timing, and therefore when
we can see Fjant's like a tiny bit flustered if we look at it. It's top gas, like he's mining 4 on the top gas, so he's a little bit shaken up by how the series is going so far.
Yeah, absolutely. He does get another scout off with his own lings. I think, like you're saying, in Game No. 1, this is like the hallmark of a really good player. It's like, even after all of this, and he's getting counter-attacked with lings, he's still got his own lings in the opponent's space, seeing everything that's going on.
Yeah, I mean, this is something if you watch, like, the very best, like, if you're watching, like, Cyril or Reina, they've constantly got up-to-date info. The lings are just everywhere, and they're seeing everything, and, they don't miss a beat. Yeah,
Cyril is, like, really incredible for getting lings in the opponent's main, and you're like, that's walled. It's fully walled. There'll still be 2 lings.
How did this go? Yeah.
They just seem to phase through the wall somehow. I don't know how he does it, but he always does manage to get it.
No, it's something I always notice when I'm playing, or when I'm watching him play. I'm like, wow, that's incredible. Like, he is just literally omnipotent. He's like everywhere.
Yeah. It's going to be a really fast lair. Lorimbo actually made even more lings, and Fjant kind of re-scouted them with his other 2 lings. So I think that's why he's gone for
full wall off.
Got a good wall down.
Yeah, he'll have seen them coming over with the Overlord. So he's fully prepared.
And this is kind of the difference between game 1, which obviously lorimbo won in the end anyway, but game 1, lorimbo didn't have the wall prepared in time, so he ended up losing a couple of queens. Fjant's like, no, straight away. Hard walled, full
no
walled,
risks.
not going to risk anything, not going to even lose a queen. Did make a few roaches, but I do think he might be going Spire. He's mining out of 4 gases right now, which is a bit much for like standard roach production.
Yeah, well, we'll see now. When the layer finishes up, we're going to see his decision. I'm sure, yeah, you think you're right, it probably is going to be a Spire with 4 gas on 2 base.
Yeah. At the
It's
same
quite
time,
popular,
he might
right?
just be going like, there we go, okay. Might just be going for roach upgrades, and ends up he's going to be able to afford both, though in this case not going for the carapace. Lorenzo is going 3rd base and then upgrades. I don't think this is Ling upgrades. Oh, it is Ling upgrades. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, he's just not mining enough gas to go for going to the roaches super heavy just yet. So it's going to be Ling against roach, basically.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think like since the patch, muters seem to have been much more popular. They got buffed, didn't they, as well?
The muta buff is like more impactful than anyone thought. It's mainly that the glaive bounces now have like a target priority.
Right.
So before, like, say I have mutas here and I'm hitting the workers, the glaives would bounce to the gas and bounce to the hatch. And that's like wasted DPS.
Exactly, yeah, being absorbed by stuff that doesn't really affect. Yeah.
Well, now because the workers take priority, the glaives will bounce to the workers first, and you end up getting way more kills. The same is true for like attacking aggressive units as well. So if you attack roaches, it will bounce to the roaches and instead of like onto the building. So the DPS is basically a little bit higher.
Yeah, I feel like that's a really good change. Like, I mean, like obviously muters over time become less and less popular.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, you know, as people get better at dealing with them, you find that with these type of units.
And they're kind of hated. People don't like playing against them, but I do think they're
important
for the game.
To develop a healthy meta, you need like a variety of units and like the usages of them and what they're going to be doing and achieving. And obviously, they regulate, you know, like greed, and they also, you know, can give you like a sort of totally surprise factor to a build. You know,
absolutely.
12 muters appear on the field and you haven't scouted it, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and at the same time, I think they're quite important for Zerg anti-air in a way that like Zerg doesn't have that much anti-air, and only having mutas or only having hydras be like the one core anti-air unit.
Yeah.
If you're going roaches, if you're going mutas, it gives you like a little bit more kind of space with the anti-air.
Yeah, yeah.
Fjant does keep trying to get this 3rd up, and it keeps getting denied.
Yeah, yeah, and Lorimbo's happily getting his own 3rd up on his side of the map, so...
Yeah, not mining for it too much. He's actually down in workers a little bit.
He's getting denied the base again, yeah, you can't stop that many lanes.
I think these trades are not too bad. I mean, obviously it's annoying to never get the base up, but
yeah, he's workers ahead, and Lorimbo's not saturated on his 3rd, so yeah, it's not a big deal. And he can see that now with the mute list.
He is going to lose a couple of queens here, and Lorimbo actually scouted this with the Overlord. It just barely flew in range of the Spire, and then he just wasn't really prepared for the mutas getting out this fast.
He probably been focusing a lot of his attentions on denying the 3rd base over and over with these lanes, and not really done his bit on his side of the map.
These roaches think are finally going to get cleaned up, but maybe this 3rd goes down. There's not really anything Lorimbo can do about it until he gets more queens out.
I feel like playing like Link Heavy is like so much better now with the extra lava, right? You can have so many more lanes, aren't you?
Yeah, the upgrade cost changing was pretty big as well. Because it's only 200 instead of 250, 250. So like you just need to mine less gas to get the same upgrades out on the Lings.
Yeah, I do feel like when you're queuing an upgrade and it is like, you know, like any more than 200, you're really sitting there waiting for the money to come in. Yeah, it's the same with like some of the Protoss Air upgrades as you get higher tiers. They're a lot more expensive, and you're like, come on, we need it.
Also, then you forget
GG. Oh, yeah, it's going to answer to the view list on the other side of the map.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all she wrote.
Yeah, just in this case, like I said, there's not much we can do about it if he's not getting more queens out, and he actually wasn't making any queens. By the end of the game, he was making 3 at a time.
I mean, he could have possibly like thrown down a few extra spores around the bases, and he was trying.
He put some down, but Fjant actually just got on top of them. So there were 2 here, and I think there were some here as well. But the mute count actually just kept growing. So even with the Lings over here, sort of got cleaned up, and then the mute count across the map kept going up and up and up. And I think kind of shows you the problem with the mirror match, or not a problem, but you know, one factor of the mirror match is that things do have this tendency to like snowball when you're so even on workers and things like that, and you only have the same units to work with. You can get in these spots where your answer to the opponent just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, while their units get higher and higher and higher, and it just absolutely gets run away with.
Yeah, no, 100%. Just that it is the nature of the game and the volatility of mirror matchups. Yeah, like say you've got the same tools, the same type of economy, you know, because obviously it's asymmetrical balance. All the races work slightly differently and build their economies up slightly differently, but obviously in a mirror, they're both doing exactly the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like once one player carves out a lead, it tends to be, you know, a lead that gets bigger and bigger, while the other player's situation gets worse and worse. We just saw that there.
We're going to go ahead into game number 3, loading up now. It's at Eternity's Edge. This is another one where the rush distance is quite small, quite short, but the rest of the map is quite big, and there's quite a lot of room on the sides of the map to expand into. I think with the rush distance as it is, we may see a pull first, and Lorimbo hasn't played a pull first so far in the series. Fjant obviously just 10 pulled in that game and did a good amount of damage. So I wonder now if it's, you know, shoe on the other foot and Lorimbo decides to go for it. But we are 1-1 so far in this best of 5. Playing in the purple for Team Air, Lorimbo.
And spawning down into the bottom right-hand side. We're in the yellow, playing Zerg. Playing for Team Right, it's Fjant.
He likes the yellow.
He does like the yellow, yeah.
It does look okay with the yellow drones.
I mean, I guess maybe it's a Team Right thing. Maybe it's in the contract. Oh, we've got a pause from Lorimbo. He's got mouse issues, so we're going to wait for a second. I think just touching back on the last game as well, like obviously you got that volatility of the mirror matchups, but you've also got what you touched on, like the lack of anti-air for Zerg.
Yes.
And one thing I've always thought as a non-Zerg player, maybe simple thoughts, is, you know, when they introduced the Ravager in HOTS, why the hell didn't they just let it shoot up? Why did it have to have a skill shot to shoot up? Why couldn't they just give it an auto attack to shoot up?
Yeah, I don't know that.
Would it have? Well, I mean, I guess it would have screwed up. So you'd have been able to attack overlords and ZVZ.
That's true, but you kind of already can with the bios, and they're too slow to dodge it.
Yeah,
I do think. I think Zerg's kind of been balanced around the lack of anti-air.
Yeah, no, 100% has. But it's made the bigger problems. Like you know,
for sure.
We've had to buff the spores. Like say, mutas are a big problem if you've got not a very good answer, as we saw in the last game. So
and it means that like the Oracle energy has had to been tuned quite closely.
And
otherwise
Oracle,
you just instantly lose.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Oracles were like so difficult to deal with, and they've obviously had to tune them back and back.
I mean, like me, you probably remember the time when like Mass Oracle was a real thing, and you could just fly over and
I may have been a Mass Oracle connoisseur. I played. I used to watch. People probably remember Desra. He was an unsavory character in the community, but he streamed a lot. I used to watch him, and a chat like was doing viewer games, and he was playing Zerg. And obviously I was playing Protoss, and I made Mass Oracle against him. He was absolutely molded on stream as all these Oracles flew in.
I mean, it felt terrible. Honestly,
it was awful. It was terrible game design. It was awful.
Yeah, I mean, there was a tournament where Haas played just Mass Oracle the whole time.
Yeah, Risky wasn't a big fan of that, I remember.
Yeah. And then the finals, it was like Cyril versus Haas, and it just wasn't close at all.
No,
because he was just abusing Oracles the whole time.
He wasn't the same caliber of player, but he just had these terrible, cheesy, awful builds.
But yeah, the Oracle was really tough because like you'd be like, it's fine, I've got 3 queens and 3 Oracles are coming, and just like zap them down. Oh, awesome. Or like even you'd end up with like loads of Hydras, and then like 10 Oracles would come and just like zap them all instantly.
You could fight near enough anything on the ground with them once you had enough. It was wild.
Yeah.
And then also they had the infinite stasis, right? So even if you couldn't fight stuff, you could just cover the whole map in stasis.
Yeah. It's crazy when we look back, right? Like, how did we ever play this? How were we okay with this?
Yeah.
So this game we were yapping through a little bit. It is going to be the 10 pull out of Lorimbo and therefore the defense from Fjant. Fjant did not play Hatch first.
So yeah. So Lorimbo's open similarly to how Fjant opened in the last game.
Before, Fjant's micro is actually really slacking. He's not doing great so far. Does need to be really careful not to lose this hatch. Does have to pull the queen down. I think Lorimbo might just commit onto this and try and snipe it.
It seems like he's happy to trade in a few drones here.
Yeah, I mean, Fjant kind of got desperate towards the end and needed to take a fight that he didn't really want to, because otherwise he loses the hatch. 4 workers, could be more, 6 even.
Yeah, I feel like it's good for Lorimbo, right? I think if he had tried on the hatch, he might have got it. But he wouldn't have got any workers. And he pumps himself in a bit of a weird spot, and then also you run the risk of not getting the hatch, not getting the workers, and then you just, you're in big trouble.
Yeah, as it happens, this is still like a really great spot for Lorimbo.
Oh yeah, I feel 6 workers is huge, right?
He had like his first 2 defensive lings out, and then they kind of died away from all of the drones, so then he kind of had to panic and pull the drones back.
Yeah, you saw it. He saw a stop for a second as he was microing, and it's like the telltale sign of a guy who's like, oh god, this isn't going very well.
Yeah, I think it's like, flubbing his control groups or his hotkeys or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Like sometimes you have everything selected and then you press F2 and now you only have 2 units selected instead of like all of your workers.
We've all been there, yeah.
It's rough.
And especially, you know, on a LAN setting in a tournament, you know, the pressure's on, right? You know, sometimes you make mistakes that you never make on ladder and LAN.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just a different setup, right? Like they're on, you know, not their own desk, not their own, not their own anything. So it all feels a bit wrong. Yeah.
Questionably high desks with questionably low chairs.
Yeah, yeah. I do know Fjant is on 2 chairs. I can reveal that. Does look pretty even overall, but lorimbo taking pretty good worker lead so far. I think you'll be pretty happy with how that went.
Lorimbo's, and obviously with Fjant's economy being slightly, you know, damaged by the 6 worker loss, he's still not manning any gas.
Well, yeah, he actually pulled out because he did 100 and then took the.
Right. So he's already got his speed started up. Yeah, I just saw his gas come down and go to 0. But that would make sense because he needs the mineral income to try and sort of catch back up and
like
get the snowball and making workers going again.
But if you imagine, he lost 6, so he might be on like 10 more workers right now.
Oh yeah.
So he could afford to stay in the gas if he had
Yeah, but
more.
he just can't. Yeah, he needs that mineral income because obviously minerals make minerals, right? You know.
Yeah, but he also cut a queen to get to this point. That's pretty rough in terms of his production as the game goes on.
But he just has to, doesn't he, to sort of get his economy going again.
Yeah, it's going to be a really fast tide for lorimbo, taking 2 more gases in than that. I would guess another one in the main. Oh, he's full walled? I'm pretty sure that's full walled.
So what do we expect him to do with this really quick hive?
I'm nearly certain this is muters.
Is this a hive or is it a lair? Is it?
Lair, sorry, yeah. But yeah, I think it's muters. The fact that he's like preemptively kind of re-walling behind even. Yeah, I think he might lose that if Fjant just commits onto it.
I think he is. I think there's enough surface areas in there because it's just like on the outside of the wall.
Yeah, and the queen DPS is just not that great. Doesn't need to be careful actually. His queen's kind of got out of the way, but then the replacement wall didn't finish making.
Yeah, I think there's only like 5 or 6 lings left, right? So if you ran it, they're going to get cleaned up pretty quick anyway. But they would get good info.
Fjant's actually recommitting to the lings, going for +1 melee and then making a lot of lings behind it.
Maybe it feels like this is his only play now after the way the early game went. Maybe he just feels like I just need to sort of knock him over now.
Yeah, remember to get literally 1 roach out before his roach warren died. Fjant going to try again here on this queen. I mean, like we said in the first game, there are only 2 queens out, so killing 50% of the queens here is actually pretty good. I think he is going to open the wall as well. Get a good surround
he's going to wrap on. Now Lorimbo's needing to pull the workers to try and hold on here. Are we still just streaming links on the other side of the map? I mean, I think this is the last links for a while, right?
Yeah.
I know there's more being made.
Yeah, it's all in kind of from here.
Yeah, it feels like he's just like saw that he's cracked it open and he's like, right, we just keep going.
Yeah. I mean, he did a good job sniping the roach run in the first place. It does mean that these like reinforcing roaches are going to be a bit slower, and lorimbo did skip link speed of his own, so he actually had to go roaches defensively here. So there's a little window.
Lorimbo seems to like favour skipping that like link speed to go higher into attack, right?
Yeah. He's going to go straight for the roach warrens, so roach speed +1/+1. Does have a good number of roaches here, so I think he's pretty well stabilized. Fjant does have a third behind this and is going to start to drone out. And actually, this is why I personally find ZVZ really hard to play. Because I'm like, I've defended, I lost a few workers, I've killed 1 million lings, I must be ahead. And then I'll like rewind, I'll be like, I'm dead even on workers. It's like, after all of that, am I even?
I feel like, well, and that goes for the other races as well. And I feel like when I was learning to play the game and like, you know, the less experience they had, I was like, I'd always get confused as to what economic state I was in against. So I feel like I must be ahead. And I was like, you say, you've traded out, but the lings, don't forget, you're getting 2 for every 1 lava. And obviously the lava appears at a quicker rate, so it's even more confusing now.
Yeah.
So it is definitely something that would confuse you.
Yeah, and also, you know, compared to other races, lorimbo, especially in this game, is like less active on the map. He doesn't have a good scouting link, so he doesn't have a lot of info about what's going on.
There's definitely a dearth of information for Zerg and ZVZ sometimes. And that's a frustrating element of the game. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why I'm not really a big fan of the change in the economy. I felt like 12 workers sort of got rid of these horrible little windows where you couldn't get the information. There were just like, you know, periods where it was near enough impossible to get information in some matchups. And we're sort of gone back closer to that again with the 8 worker start.
Yeah, for sure. Interesting game so far. Fjant is going to rocket ahead in workers, so he's saturating his third up. And that's mostly because he's outside lorimbo's base. He sees everything. Everything important is kind of here. He's even going to see the move out. He's, you know, going to run lings around and try and snipe drones and see when the third goes down. Even gets a scout off into the main. So he does have a spire behind this. Does need to be a bit careful because the roaches are starting to head across the map. This is the tough part of this.
I think he's realising he's looking for these roaches. Yeah, he's found them. Yeah.
But what you need to do is like threaten to run by so that they can't just go across. Because if these go across and get into a decent position, then it's really hard to get rid of them.
It's a bit late for Fjant to stop him. He's near enough on his side of the map now, right?
Yeah, he could potentially catch some of these with the first lings. Just needs to be really careful that they don't get like wedged in minerals. Nice surround so far for Fjant. I think he took a bad fight across the map with the rest of the links, but this is kind of the more pressing issue. I think this is really good for lorimbo so far, actually. He's trading really nicely.
I thought so, and it would have gone even better if he had all the roaches together, right? You know what I mean? He could have, like, reduced the surface area. Like, these roaches took, like, you know, a relatively bad fight for the roaches, because, like, say, they were out in the open and they got wrapped. Like, ideally, like you say, want to jab them in somewhere here where they can't get wrapped around.
Yeah, I think Fjant's going to lose a lot of workers here. Doesn't look like he's going to lose the third base. There's lorimbo goes straight for the main. So he could deny the +2.
Yeah, I think Fjant's, like, desperately trying to get the mules out here to hold, right?
Yeah.
You really need to get the muters out, but I don't think they're going to chew through these roaches quick enough, right? They're definitely going to get some workers, and they're definitely going to take down this natural hatchery.
Yeah.
So
they're upgraded armor roaches as well, so they take even less damage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like by the time this is cleared up, how many workers is he going to lose? How many bases is he going to lose?
I think he's going to lose it all. I mean, you know, he's already 26 workers down. You know, a base down. Well, he's got the same amount of bases, but he's lost his natural base.
Yeah,
you know, like that. Maybe the muters do eventually clean it up, but at what cost?
Yeah, so I think that might be it. I mean, maybe there's some play in it, and he kind of goes across with the muters after holding this first push.
I think that's what it depends on. If you could get counter damage on with the muters, but I feel like at this point, if you're lorimbo, you should be throwing down a few spores around each base and just saying, right, you know, what are you going to do?
You can start stock up on queens and stuff as well, but obviously he's down with 30 workers now. That's really hard to
and he's on one base at 10 minutes.
Yeah. The muters are obviously good, and there's not any answer to them, at least aggressively, from lorimbo. Like, he can't keep running roaches across because they just get cleaned up and just start to throw.
Does enter a bit of a weird spot, because like you say, it would take a while to ever get any units that could ever go across the map.
Yeah.
You know, because Hydras don't do particularly well against muters up until a point. So
yeah, and Lorimbo's still only on 2 bases. Quite a lot of overlords are going to go down as well. It's going to be quite annoying.
He's got the extra spore crawls though to keep himself safe, so there's absolutely no potential for those muters to go in there. Well, he hasn't got them in the main though.
Yeah, he's skipped in the main, but there's a lot of queens already here with a lot of energy. The problem is, it's like, as the purple Zerg, now he's just forced to tech up. So he's going to start making more workers, probably Hydra Den. He's going for carapace upgrades. Obviously, this really helps against the muters. It stops the damage from the glaive bouncers. A lot more overlords are going to go down there. That's really annoying.
I mean, I don't really know what Fjant's play is from here, though. You can't kill him, and he's on 15 workers to 44. So it's like a real rough spot. I don't think he can ever... He's going to try and take his natural again, but, you know, he hasn't really even got the drones to sort of saturate it.
Yeah, and Lorimbo's going to keep kind of sneaking roaches out. Mostly this buys him space and time as the muters need to go hunt these down. And if they don't, then obviously gets in here, starts cancelling the hatch again. It's very annoying. Fjant saw these roaches with the Overlord, is why he's kind of scouting around and looking for them still.
He's trying to find them, hunt them down. Yeah, and we've seen the Hydra stand house come out of Lorimbo, so Lorimbo's going to try and mass up a decent number of Hydras and try and end the game.
Yeah, and I think he will be able to. It's not a huge number of muters here, but for Fjant, it's just like, there's nothing else. It's, I think, 12 meters, 14 meters, 17, okay, it's a few more than I thought, but that's it. There's no, like, Ling Bane coming out, there's no Ling Bane upgrades coming out.
And we've got no upgrades on the muters, right? The muters are just 0-0.
Yeah,
and we're getting +2 carapace, which is going to affect the Hydras.
Yeah, I was going to say, he might have lost the Spire. Sometimes it goes in the natural, and then it gets sniped when the natural dies. But, in this game, he is going to end up going for that +1 and keeps committing to the Hydras, but I think eventually Lorimbo just like walks the Queens, bunch of Hydras across the map. Comes really hard to play for Fjant. Doing a really good job of keeping these all alive though. Even in game 1 we saw Lorimbo like losing a couple meters here and there.
He can probably get these... Oh no, he can't get the gases. The spores a little bit too close.
Yeah, he doesn't really want to commit onto it because it will just get transfused. And
exactly.
Queens get there in time.
And like I say, you can't afford to lose any of these. These muters are his whole game at the moment.
Yeah. This Roach is going to be a little bit annoying, but this hatch does get established in the end. I think he's close to starting to mine out in the main.
It's interesting he's making a call. Oh, and he's moving spans down. I was about to say, I don't think he could afford to make any extra spans at this point in the game. Maybe about 20% of his economy down.
But these were in the main when it was his only base. That's kind of a tough spot to play from, right? Where like, it's like if you're at the toss and you're like, I'm kind of rushing my own main just to try and stay in the game. That's
exactly.
Never a good feeling.
Exactly. It's a list of things you don't want to be happening.
Lorimbo does now feel confident enough to start to push out towards his third. I think honestly his anti-air is like more than enough here.
Yeah,
Fjant is going to try and commit onto a queen.
I don't think they could barely fight the queens, I think.
Yeah, couple muters going down for literally no gain. I mean, he's trading energy for muters. It's really not a good feeling. No. Lorimbo sees how many muters are here and starts to head across.
Yeah, these muters are going to get a couple of them sniped.
Yeah. The problem is that like every time he dives in, he's like, I'm going to kill 2 Hydras. He actually loses 2 muters on the
You can't afford to lose anything.
Yeah. And the Hydras are relatively cheaper as well. So
yeah, this looks like the death march anyway. Like the Rimbo's coming across the map. It'd be be interesting if, I mean, maybe if Fjant pulled all the workers at the same time, it might just
Yeah.
hold, because the Hydras are squishy, but it's not looking great.
Yeah, I don't quite see
for
it.
Fjant.
I think you have to play it this way for lorimbo, just so you're like really concrete. You really know that like there's not about to be a million banelings roll through and you lose everything.
Yeah.
There are a few lings coming through that are going to try and help to tank. Spine being a little bit annoying. Fjant going to go look for the reinforcements. Might get a couple Hydra pick-offs here, but I mean, he went from 17 mutas to now 11 left, so really starting to bleed out mutas here.
Yeah, he's beginning to get like a little like army of lings at the natural. So I don't think he's got a Baneling nest, does he? You know, Baneling is usually the Hail Mary against this type of thing.
Let's see, this might be the last fight. I actually think it's not too bad for Fjant here, although the lings do just about melt, and with a couple more reinforcements from lorimbo, I think the mutas will go down. I think that's it.
And that's GG. So,
Good
lorimbo.
series so far.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting series, back and forth, and you know, different people being the aggressor and the defender, and obviously, you know, lorimbo to, you know, bit of a surprise going 2-1 up.
Yeah, absolutely. Not the kind of favorite in this series. That's not like too rude. I think no one will disagree.
No, not the favorite, but also, yeah, obviously, you know, I think before everyone's still in their mind, probably gave him a chance, and he's taking that chance at the moment.
Well, you also can't count him out because he literally just beat Figaro on the other, you know, to get to this match.
Yeah, Figaro's a top Zerg as well. You know, he's won Epic Land before.
And I'd say he's not favoured in that match either, to be honest.
No, definitely not. No, yeah, you would say Yasha's probably, you know, the more solid player, but
and more LAN experience as well.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, definitely.
But that was the 4th and 5th seed, but this is now the 1st and 5th seed. And it's still close.
He's punching. He's doing well. You know, he's close. He's one map away from, you know, taking it. So let's get into it. So we're on Rainfall this time.
Rainfall in the bottom right. Playing in the purple, it's lorimbo.
And spawning into the top left-hand side. Playing for Team Rotti. We're in the yellow. It's Fjant.
Really interested to see what the builds are going to be in this time. It's like, you know, we kind of chatting about it a bit in game number 1, how the builds match up into each other and how they develop. And as you get through a series, you start thinking like, okay, well, that worked, that didn't work. Do I do that again? Should I never do that again? It's going to be a 10 pool again for lorimbo. And like we saw in the game before this, it worked really well.
Yeah,
I don't know that Fjant's going to miss micro every time, so maybe we come out of this actually with Fjant taking the lead this time.
Yeah, it could be a completely different outcome this time. You know, like you say, I don't feel, even though with the economy change, we haven't really got any real hard build or the losses yet that anyone's come up with. So there's nothing like 8 pool absolutely counters, you know, like, you know, maybe does it count hard? Well, it doesn't count hard first, even, does it? You know, there's still a chance of holding as long as you play perfectly. Right?
Well, yeah, it was funny. We kind of thought that nothing was beating 10 pool.
Yeah.
Well, 10 pool always beat hatch first. And then I think Reyna played it a bunch against Cyril, and Cyril just like won every time. So it's like, okay, well, unless you're Cyril,
what do we know?
Unless you're Cyril, and then you can just play whatever you want. And
well, he sort of sometimes does. You know, he's the exception to the rules, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting because then you're like, well, that means that it's just all on the micro. It's just all about how well you're controlling and how well, you know, your opponent is playing.
Yeah.
And that in these spots is really interesting and really tricky. And like you say, it's not like a build order win. It's very much like that's a pure skill matchup. It's like as close to skill as it gets. It's the micro versus the micro. There's no hard like insta win.
Yeah,
that's it. So we'll see how that goes in this game. Remember, he's running the lings around the first Overlord. So Fjant's actual first warning will be.
He just came back for a second. Then was that because he feels like he can avoid the second one as well? No, he's going to run straight under it.
Yeah.
So now Fjant gets the info. Now he sees exactly what's happening, and he knows it's a temple.
Yeah, but it's still, you know, he's finding out kind of late. You'd ideally.
Yeah, you want to know the moment they leave, right? Because this gives you so much less time to like even mentally prepare. Even if obviously you know your build doesn't change, but you've already committed to your hatch first. Yeah. You still want to be ready, right?
So it is an even bigger commitment to the lings in this game. So in the first game we only had 2, and that was obviously kind of pretty disastrous for him. In this game he's making quite a lot more. Does get down here nice and early with the drones. It's a decent fight so far for Fjant, but he needs to be careful not to lose these.
Yeah, better micro this time. It looks like much more confident micro as well. Like, you know, he's sort of like fan back, you know, with the weaker workers and sort of like, you know, mineral walk through his workers to sort of get the healthy ones to the front.
Yeah. So he is buying a lot of time here for his own lings to come out, and I think with these reinforcements, he maybe commits to the fight. I think still a few more workers might go down, but
he's doing pretty good. That was one more there for lorimbo, and that was only 4. So that's you said that before. That's probably the magic number. So when you do this open as lorimbo, that's what he wanted to achieve.
4, minimum. I think, is like a good goal, but not unplayable for either player. 6 is like that much bit more punishing for the defending Zerg. And if you're getting like none or 2, that's
then
kind of
then
really
you're behind.
rough.
Yeah. 4 sort of puts you a tiny bit ahead, and you can see that from the numbers at the bottom. You can see the lorimbo just shaved into like a tiny worker lead, but nothing the Fjant can't come back from.
Nice move from the lorimbo to keep some of these injured lings behind to try and pick off another drone, but really well played from Fjant.
That was really good from Fjant.
Fjant, on the other hand, getting his own lings across the map.
Yeah, this is a bit annoying for Lorimbo. Obviously, can't do much on the low ground at the moment until he gets a few more lings out of his own. Definitely doesn't want to lose this hatch. I don't think he will. Obviously, he's got his own lings on the high ground.
But plus side, he isn't mining from it either.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's good for Fjant.
And he needs to be a bit careful not to get like the reinforcements picked off. That was not a great fight.
No, not with the Queen. Had an extra DPS. Well. It's funny how much the Queen does swing the fight, doesn't it? You know, just chipping away, extra few hit points.
And they're so tanky as well, so you can, so long as you don't lose them.
Yeah, exactly. It's free. It's free, isn't it? Like if the lings do any damage to the Queen, it's like so what? He'll heal passively, and
Yeah, exactly. So all said and done, Fjant taking a slight worker advantage, but really nothing major. Has a slight tech advantage because he has his speed.
Lorimbo has been supply blocked here for a moment. I don't know if an Overlord went down somewhere.
They actually both got a bit supply blocked. Yeah, no Overlords, just straight supply blocks. I think because when you're like playing ling versus ling, and even like it looks a bit silly, but slow ling versus slow ling, you're obviously like really focusing on the control.
No, the micros, they're so important. Yeah, like every ling counts.
Yeah, Lorimbo gets a good fight again and kills off a lot of those lings before they can heal back up.
Yeah, now he's going to go into the main. Maybe try and pick off another drone if he can. There's no Queen up here, but also get extra info as well and see what's going on.
Yeah, I thought he could have got that one, but he didn't think so. Even more lings going out for Fjant. This actually kind of favours Fjant a little bit. Lorimbo was like throwing away slow lings that he kind of didn't want anymore. He's not making speed, so they're not going to get any better. Yep. Fjant is remaking lings kind of defensively, but he is making speed, so they do actually do something for him. They do give him map control.
His speed's not far off finished here as well. Speed's going up like 80% complete, so probably going to see him.
That is a full wall.
It certainly is, yeah.
Okay. He's even remaking a Roach straight away. It's really interesting. It's what he did in the second game, but in this game, he's going like straight for it. He's like, I'll just make 2 Roach runs. Which obviously, like, if he doesn't lose this one, he ends up cancelling this one.
Yeah.
That's a bigger loss than if it was just an Evo chamber.
Yeah, 100%.
But Fjant going to commit in anyway.
Okay, well, Lorimbo's lair is about to finish up, so we're going to see what Lorimbo is going to commit to this time. Do you think he's going to go into mute this time, or?
Yeah, it's only 3 gas, so maybe not. But the Spire is so much cheaper. It's 150, 150, so you kind of never really know. You kind of can always sneak it out.
But yeah, 3 gas would probably indicate probably not. You'd want the extra gas, like banking up now. So when like the Spire finishes, you've got more gas to build more mirrors. Yeah, it's that simple.
It's really funny. Actually, transfused this Roach for him. There's another one next to it anyway. It all looks a bit silly. 2 Roach runs at the front.
Yeah, I think the transfuse is still good though, right? Adding any extra hit points to that means that the lings stay out for longer, and he gets to trade against the lings.
Gives him more health on his Evo chamber as well.
Yeah,
gives him more time to bring the Queen back from injecting in the main, and even he was making kind of defensive roaches, so it gives them more time to spawn. Just really shoring himself up against what happened in was it the second game, I think, where he kind of let a few lings in and took a few bad trades.
So that might have been the first game where the lings got in.
Might have been.
Yeah.
Second, it might be the first or third, yeah.
But yeah, we look at the economic states of both players. They were both in similar spots economically. And again, I think this has been a pattern of the series. Fjant's felt comfortable going out onto this third base where Lorimbo's sort of heavy teched on 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, when we're seeing like a Roach Warren come out of Fjant, his lair's about to finish up, so I suspect we'll see Roach speed and I guess we'll maybe get into Roach.
I think it might be Roach again, but unlike in the first game where we saw like a few mutas from a kind of sneaky Spire, there's no Spires in this game, so it's going to be straight Roach versus Roach.
Yeah.
They're interestingly
honourable Roach off.
Yeah, but it is melee, so it is going to be like Ling Roach against Roach.
I mean, that might make sense as well. That's like, extra lava, you're going to have, spare minerals, and obviously the gas to like mineral ratios have sort of changed with the economy changes tend to be a lot more gas poor. Yes, so you're going to have more lings by that, because you're not going to have as much gas to get as many roaches.
Yeah, it's interesting. He's actually going for +2 melee as well.
Yeah.
While still making quite a lot of roaches and rouse behind. I feel like that it might be kind of a defensive play, and he's going to play like mass ling, mass rav.
Sort of, and maybe like just try and get a big wrap with a load of lings round. Yeah. And I think we saw him preemptively making a few Ravagers, which you sort of usually want a few Ravagers in the matchup, right? You can snipe Overlords, and obviously you can sort of like scare them backwards. Like you buy a lead, you say you have to move or you will eat this damage.
Yeah.
But if he gets a big wrap with a load of lings, he's made more than 3. Yeah, this is his plan, isn't it? He's want to wrap the roaches and then absolutely nail them with the biles, and this is what I think he's going to get to do.
Yeah, it does look good to start with, but actually pretty slippery from Lorimbo. Does want to keep kiting out. This is the problem with this like particular play is that you end up biling your own lings a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're taking a bit of friendly fire.
That's a pretty good fight for Fjant so far.
Yeah,
he's going to keep chasing.
Think his plans work pretty well so far. Yeah, like Lorimbo's walked straight into it.
Actually, unfortunately, his +1 carapace ended pretty much as soon as the fight ended. But
yeah, anti-timed himself.
Yeah,
that's a classic.
Kind of had to take the fight where he could get it and just dive on the roaches while he
could.
Yeah,
so Lorimbo was sort of dictating the pace of the game there, so he didn't really
yeah.
get a chance to really say, hey, hold on a second, let my upgrades finish. So,
yeah, and it's kind of risky in this spot to delay the fight. You have to be really opportunistic.
Yeah, exactly. You want to hit your timing, don't you?
Because otherwise, if these roaches are here or even worse, like wedged in the mineral line, they get much harder to play against than when you've got a full link surround.
Yeah,
does manage to sneak these roaches around, go for a bit of a counter attack, and this is also meaning that the lings that were outside his main have pulled away. So Lorimbo is going to manage to sneak even more roaches out. I wonder if he just uses these defensively, goes for a third.
Yeah, so it's been really interesting to watch. Like both players have never felt comfortable like going away from 40 workers.
Yeah,
like we're just literally on a 2-base economy with a third base for Fjant and that's it. We haven't branched away from that. And I guess like you say the guy who starts drawing up is probably the one who's going to die, right? Especially with how aggressive we've seen.
In the game before, Fjant actually did get to 50 and then pretty much straight away died.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hitting that DK, Yeah.
Nice third on the left-hand side for Lorimbo, and his roaches are already really in position to back these lings off. So Fjant going 2-2 and then +1 ranged for the roaches. Does look like he wants to go for a big attack here, and he does have...
Yeah, it's going to be much more difficult this time, though, because Lorimbo sort of got himself... Oh, wait, there, he has got the lings round on, like, 2 sides, and he is, like, starting to smash in the back.
The bios just do so much damage.
Yeah, but these Ravagers don't have any HP, and they don't tank like a roach tank, so they're going to get pushed back.
Yeah, I mean, lots of bios on the retreat does buy him a bit of time.
Yeah, this is what I was saying, wasn't it? Like you sort of say, it's sort of a zoning tool in this effect, isn't it? It's like you have to move backwards out of them.
Yeah, it's when you have this many Ravs. Like, this many Ravs is actually kind of bad because they're so big.
Yeah.
When they're actually in a concave, they don't all shoot.
No, exactly. Yeah, they block each other.
Which is why you're not really going like roach mass Rav. You kind of go ling Rav.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But it does mean that you have a lot of bios in positions like this. It's really helpful. How much damage these lings do with 2-2. They're pretty scary.
Yeah.
And it's a spire behind this as well. I think this was kind of always the plan. The problem is with the way he's playing it is this is so much gas used up in Ravs. Each of these are the same cost as a muta. So, it could have been 11 mutas, but instead he's kind of got much more Ravs. He's not been mining as much gas for so long. Doesn't need to be really careful.
Yeah, look, Lorimbo's got a little bit of an army lead here, and also he is on Fjant's side of the map, and some of Fjant's army supply is in the middle of the map, sort of like trying to be annoying, but now he's going to have to defend.
I think the third is probably going to go down here.
Yeah, that's the way Lorimbo does. I don't know if he wants to come out to that. I feel like he wants to try and kill him here. I feel like feels like he's got a window to try and kill him.
The lings do get back in time and do look for a surround, but don't really get it. A lot of bios coming through.
Yeah.
So far, pretty good for Fjant.
Yeah, definitely. Still army supply in favour of Lorimbo.
Yeah.
But now he's evened up with those bios. He's absolutely just smashed a load of roaches into the bios.
Yeah, and also the mutas are on the way, so he's very much on a timer. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually G'd out here. Like, it doesn't look that bad, but things snowball and...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I feel like he was all in at that point, right?
Yeah,
he'd taken the third base, but he was never droning in. Fjant had a few drones down on his third, so he knew he was behind economically.
Yeah,
and he was going to be massively behind in tech in the second when the mutas popped, and he'd have no answer for them.
It's just so hard to take those fights and plan it. In my head, I'm like, commit onto the third, just snipe the third, and
then go back. Yeah,
but then you're like, but now I'm like wedged in a corner, and the lings are going to grab, and you're going to eat infinite bios.
And also sometimes in Starcraft, you get into the mindset of, no, I'm ending this now. I have to end it now, and you put that pressure onto yourself where you're like, there's no choice. I couldn't go back. And obviously, you do have that choice. You could go back, like you say, you could snipe the third and try to play it slow. But once you're in that gear of go, sometimes you just can't stop. And that was Lorimbo there, wasn't it? So.
Yeah, exactly. And also then it's like when you rewind, you're like, oh, we were like dead even in workers. It's like I thought he was probably up loads, and it turns out it wasn't. And then sometimes you rewind the replay, and you're like, oh, he had 10 mutas on the way. It wasn't even close. Like I was fully dead. Like
exactly.
Like
no, he definitely made the right call. Like whether he had that info or knew about the info, I think it was the time to tap out.
So interesting so far in this series. I'm fiddling with the scores, but it's 2-2.
And we've gone to the ace match. We've gone to the rubber.
Gone all the way.
Yeah. No, pretty interesting. Yeah. I don't know if I'd had it down for a 2-2 going into an ace match.
Playing in the purple in the top right of Sanctuary for our final game of this series. It's Lorimbo.
And spawning into the bottom left-hand side, playing for Team Roy, he is Fjant.
The ace match. Best of 1.
Oh, yeah, that's what it's come down to. Yeah. Forget about all the other games. Lorimbo just done the extractor trick.
Yeah, that's interesting. I was talking to Fjant about this yesterday on stream, actually.
Yeah.
Overlord and then extractor trick is more optimal than this. So this is something different. Might be 13. I think I know what it is. I think it's 13 hatch and then gas and then pool. So build the AC played yesterday. Oh, no, I'm not cooking. It's 13 gas and then hatch and then pool. I don't know why we're floating so much money. Don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, this is interesting because the money doesn't matter too much. Like you're floating lava, but like it's mostly about how things time out.
Yeah.
And importantly, how things look. If this looks like a 16 hatch timing.
Exactly. Yeah. No, this is the thing. This is one of the on the last economy, one of the big IQ test for Protoss was like, when a Zerg takes his hatchery, pool, gas all at the same.
Yeah.
We're getting supplied by like 14. It was like, if you've got your brain switched on, you can see that hatchery is at orange health instead of like, red. It went down way too early, and that's sort of like this scenario, right? If Fjant switched on, despite the fact that looks like it's sort of a similar time, there's certain reads you can make to know it's not right.
I think it was stronger against Terran, because Protoss always send the probe into the main.
Correct, yeah.
Terran just like send the SCV up, see the hatch, and like, there's a hatch, and then they go home.
It's like
you don't know what it could be anything.
Yeah, exactly. You need the rest of the info.
You could do some sneaky stuff with the hatch timing.
It did take me a while, when you first trying to read these things, as you're you're getting higher on the ladder, and you're like, if you do just only go get like the expand timing or the timing or health, you're missing some of the
classic
info.
is sending the worker in and clicking on the gas, because it actually tells you like how much they've mined, and you're like, oh, he's mined 100, so he has enough for speed. But it's like sometimes you click and you're like, he's mined 200, so it could be now he's got enough for Banes, and
or he's still mining gas, and you're like, what do you need all that gas for, buddy?
Yeah. This is it. So interesting openings. It was kind of that standard defensive pool for Fjant, so he's only got 2 lings coming across to have a look. And he's going to go like, oh, interesting, it's normal hatch timing, but there's no workers here, so he's going to go straight for the main. Although, remember, I didn't really see these lings. They're camping on the ramp.
There's got to be a bit of a tip-off, right? You've got like 4 lings on hold position on a ramp. You're going to be a bit weirded out if you're Fjant, but he is going to get in now.
Yeah, he even pulls them away just so that he can get the full scout off. Does see no gas mining, speed nearly done, so I think he knows what it is.
He's got to be able to tell that this is something crazy, right? Because there's not enough workers on the on his main there, right? Like he had 11 on minerals. How many's like Fjant got on his minerals? He must have way more, right?
Yeah,
he's saturated. Yeah, exactly. Even I, as not a keen Zerg expert, could look at that mineral line and go, where are the rest of them?
So he actually started a spine on the low ground. I was going to say that's really likely to get sniped as the link speed is done already.
Yeah, I think he's realised the gravity of the situation, right? This is a massive link flood off like a lower economy.
I still don't love it. He pulled all of the workers away. He knows he's going to pull all of the workers back because they just need to hold the ramp and stop the queens from getting hit.
Yeah.
They're going to see a lot of good hold position micro here to keep the queens alive. But obviously the income is absolutely terrible for Fjant. It's literally 0.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he just literally panicked and just know he needs all that. If he loses this hatchery, the game's going into like a real weird state.
Yeah. I don't think he can lose.
I don't think he can either. He can't go like 1 hatch against 2, right? And the lorimbo will catch up on drones and then be ahead. So.
Yeah, even if you have 21 workers, if you've only got 1 hatch, you've got nowhere to put them. So
it's
really
exactly,
tricky. He's going to keep all of his workers here for the time being, do a little bit of mining. He does have the spine through. I think Lorimbo's mega all in, so I think he has to commit now onto
there's plenty of transfuse here as well, right? You've got at least 2.
Yeah.
Do you think using them on the queen's a good call rather than the spine? Or?
Yeah. I think the spine is holding on just barely, pulling the workers just to hold that. Fjant, in the midst of all of that, did finish his link speed of his own. I think he's looking okay here.
Yeah, I feel like Fjant's played this pretty well, and it looks like he's played against this before. Even though he pulled all the workers, was on 0 income for a minute, he's got 21 of those workers. Once they go back on, he's already double rich compared to Lorimbo.
Yeah, he put a few back in the main, so these are kind of not fake, like they are mining.
But he's still got some mineral.
He's pulling those as soon as anything happens. He's pulling those.
Because he just can't afford to lose this hatch.
Yeah, it's like you're saying, like he maybe hasn't seen this exact build before, but a link flood was a link flood on this patch or the old patch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you've got those instincts, you've got those set responses, and he's practiced in them so well, and you can see that coming through now.
This is so close, and there's so much here for Lorimbo, but I think just barely held by Fjant. I think this is kind of the maybe the last attack.
Yeah, it's going to start losing a bit of steam, isn't it?
Yeah, he even managed to keep this queen alive.
Well, I feel like he feels comfortable because he didn't pull the workers that time. He literally let the queen, the spines, and the lings do the work, and then as it got a bit closer at the end, then he pulled the workers. He thought, oh, is this?
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels like he's doing it.
He's even sending lings for a counter attack, which is, I mean, interesting because there's not going to be much there to fight. It's like, okay, I'll kill your 10 workers, but I think lorimbo might go for one more big attack after he maybe cleans this up.
He's seen the run by though. He's got a few lings that he's kept back just to like deflect them, so he doesn't lose like that fragile economy he's got.
Yeah, the problem is I don't know how to put the there's like a income over time graph. I don't know how to put it up, but what it will show you is that the longer the game goes, the better it is for Fjant.
Oh yeah, 100%. Every second that goes by is so much worse for lorimbo than Fjant.
Yeah, there's not really a good fight that lorimbo can take here. He even got slightly surrounded by the lings, so really nice control from Fjant to kind of rub it in.
Even though this game looks like it's heading in Fjant's favour,
yeah,
it's obviously the last game in the series. So what you do is lorimbo. I feel like you've still got to play it out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And like it's the ace match. You have beaten him twice before, and ZVZ's really weird because honestly, there's so many times that you're like, okay, I've held that. You start droning, and then he just comes back with even more.
Yeah. He's like, I'm just gonna do the same thing, but with more stuff. It doesn't happen this time.
Not gonna happen. I think Fjant literally just held down the Z key. Who's like, that's it. I'm not getting baited into droning out. I know you've got nothing. He even got some lings in to the main earlier in the game, and like had a look around, had a scout out. It was like, you only have literally 11 workers here. I know, like, you're completely all in.
Like I say, there was a point where it flipped, and all of a sudden Fjant calmed down, and he was like, "I've got this."
Yeah.
And you could just see it in his play. Like he started doing all the things he practiced, and that paid off for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
But kudos to lorimbo. He gave that a really good go. You can see why like he's so high on the ladder, and he's is the 5th seed of the tournament. He certainly proved that he's right up there.
Absolutely playing really well as well. Like
I know you could see it. You could see he was confident. He had a plan.
I'll say like I think we might do a winner's interview and get Fjant over, but I don't think he will be happy with how it went. Basically,
no, he won't because
players like this are always like very critical.
Oh, he did that wrong. In his head, this was a 3-0, right? And in his head, he was like, I'm just gonna sweep lorimbo. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna be playing Drogo, Raza, Risky, whoever. But wasn't the case, and lorimbo gave a really good account of himself.
Yeah. I think he should be pretty happy with that.
Obviously, I definitely would be if I was lorimbo, and I think you're right. I think he will be.
Yeah, like obviously, he'll be saying, "Oh, it's a shame not to go out into the upper final first." But he's not out of the competition so far.
No, he's going to go into the lowers. Who's he facing off in the lowers? He's going to be against the lower consolidation.
All in all, I would guess Raza. So a ZVT, the rare ZVT.
Rare ZVT, amongst the sea of ZVZs.
We don't have the lower filled in yet. I assume those games are going, and we just haven't got scores reported just yet. So yeah, lorimbo will fall.
I think maybe if we go into the matches, maybe they've been confirmed. Like if you think you can see them in the match tab, you might be able to get up.
I think nuts. So Roscoe beat Bramaria in the lower.
Yeah, I think he did mention that to me earlier. Yeah, that was the close series between those two.
That's really close. Yes, let's go to an interview. I'll have a chat with the young man, Fjant. Lots of mic noise. Welcome.
Hello, thank you.
How do you think that went? Ready? Terrible.
I mean, it went bad.
Yeah. Talk me through it. So game 1 was like sneaky mutas, but I really felt like you scouted that. I think you saw it coming a mile away.
I saw it coming a mile away. This is one of these moments where you think he's smart, but he's so dumb it works. If I just continue making roaches, there's no way I lose the game in any sense of the word. But I was like, I'm 180 supply or some shit, and I thought I could start making hydras, but I couldn't.
Right, yeah, and you made hydras while he was like sacking the mutas in the back of your natural.
Yeah.
So I think you just, he's like, I'm only making 7 mutas and gonna throw them away when I get bored of playing with them, basically. But you're like thinking to go across the map, I need the hydras, so you're committing too much into the hydras.
Yeah, I mean the hydras are, because they're good, because the reasoning is I'm like it's a hard position to get scouting info in, right? So if I'm playing Roach Hydra, I can afford to be down 5 workers because the army is better.
Right.
But if you're ahead on workers, and down an army, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
I think game 2.
So if I got a changeling in, I would have just continued making roaches and it would have been fine.
Yeah. Game 2, you played Tenpool?
Yeah, played Temple. I was sure he was gonna play Hatch first.
But he did, right?
Yeah.
And
That
then,
was
yeah,
100% sure.
he did quite well with that. But then game 3,
Game 3,
he 10-pulled you, no?
Temple me.
Your
And
micro didn't look good there. I feel like you flubbed it a little bit.
I completely messed it up.
Yeah. Can I guess what you did? I feel like you pulled all the workers and the lings, and then I think you like F2'd or clicked your army tab. So like your lings went, but the workers didn't.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how the Starcraft AI works, because I'm pretty sure I right-clicked a worker by accident,
Right.
and the links, instead of right-clicking the worker,
yeah.
went to attack the links.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's if I clicked anything else,
Yeah.
but I'm very sure I had the entire army
Selected,
hotkey.
and then the
Yeah,
links
yeah.
went off by themselves.
Yeah.
So that one was tough, and I think from there it was over. You lost 6 workers to that,
It was
10 pull.
it was over, but
but not that over.
it was like
Playable.
somewhat playable.
Yeah.
It's like you would need to be 10 times better to win that position, and I just thought he had less workers than he did.
Yeah.
So when I got in with the links, I was feeling, well, I said making more links, which
Yeah.
I shouldn't have. I think this game is actually very, very winnable after I get into the natural and the main with my links. But
Yes.
I decided to not make it playable by making more links, because I'm an idiot.
But then game 4 was a good comeback. I don't remember what happened in game 4. Was that standard?
It was,
no,
it was Temple.
Templed you again, but
And this time, I mean, he killed a lot of workers, but I had a lot of links.
for that game.
So he
Yeah.
couldn't drone up himself, right?
Yeah. But you kind of ping ponged, like then you went across, and
Yeah.
then he sent his slow links across, and then you sent your links back across.
Yeah, and then I knew he was gonna play. I scouted free gas,
Yes, yeah.
so I was sure I was gonna play Ravager Ling.
Yeah, that was
then-
interesting. It looked pretty strong.
It
Like
was
2-2
very strong,
lings
but
against
I
the
am
Russians.
I am unable to micro, so I messed it up
Well,
super
his
badly.
counter micro was pretty good too. He kept like
Yeah,
just barely sneaking out and like dodging the bios. That's pretty.
I swear
strong.
when I do it, it doesn't really work. But
Yeah, nor me. Yeah.
I think it's on me or the Ravager Link player to mess up more than like it's on him.
And then the final game was interesting. He played like 13, 12, 11.
Yeah,
Did you know what it was? Like, did you?
I
smell it
was
out?
I was very sure what
Yeah.
he was playing when I was 6 links in the natural.
Yeah.
Just there, I pretty much knew what he was gonna be playing.
But already, like, he had 4 blocking the ramp, like, hold
Yeah,
position
yeah.
perfectly long. And
That-
it's like,
that
okay,
is
well, now I know what's
that is
happening.
not really that suspicious in itself,
Yeah,
because a lot of, especially when you're a player that can play a lot of things, a lot
Yeah.
of builds,
yeah.
you can play macro with that, right?
Yeah.
It's just a mind game. But that game, I for some reason decided to build a spine in the natural instead of my main.
Yeah, and
Because
they had to
I
cancel it.
thought I had time to finish it.
Yeah,
It's just, why do that? Especially when the map is so good, because the map has creep, so I can have the spine protecting the queens on the ramp.
yeah. From
So
the main.
there's no So there's no need to build the spine in the natural anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure what I was thinking there.
But it wasn't. It was an okay hold even then.
Yeah.
Pulled the workers down. and
I don't think that
microed
game
well.
was close at all.
Yeah. He was stuck then, like just all in and just
Yeah.
like more lings, and you didn't get baited into like droning out or anything
No.
like that. You were like, I'm just
I-
gonna also make more lings and
Ever,
we'll
I mean,
play it.
you can start making drones, but I was checking the overlord every 5 seconds. I saw
Yeah.
more links coming from, like, even if he's droning a little bit,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have way more links and I can counter attack
Yeah.
and then drone up, right?
But
Because I will
if in
have
like
full map
every
control.
round of lings he makes like 1 or 2 drones, it's
Yeah.
still going to take him a long time to catch up to the drones that you had.
Yeah, I'm
and
not
you
sure
saw
how
in
many
the
workers
main
up I was, but I'm
10.
assuming he was like 13 workers and I'm
11.
like 20.
He was 11 and you were 21.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
so you're up
yeah,
10.
it was
But you even scouted in the main, so you already had like a good
Yeah,
idea
yeah.
of how many workers he had. So
exactly.
like when you see that he's got like nearly nothing in the main, you're like straight away, okay, I don't really need to drone too much.
I'm not making another drone in this game where
Yeah.
if
yeah.
something doesn't.
So
doesn't
congratulations on reaching the upper finals.
Thank you.
It's currently Risky versus Drogo. I don't know if we're streaming that or if that's ongoing.
I have no clue because I've been logged in.
Yeah. That'll be streamed shortly. Who do you want to face in the upper final?
I mean, I'm kind of done with TVZ.
Okay, so Drogo already?
This matchup is, in my opinion, not very fun to play
So-
compared to the other ones.
What is your prediction though for who do you think is going to win it?
I think Risky's gonna win 3-1.
Okay. I don't know that I'd say that. Drogo is, according to the seeds, favoured. But
Yeah,
Risky, has played a lot of LAN. He's been playing a little bit on this patch.
Risky has to. How many times has he won it? 15?
Yeah, something like that. Sure.
15-time Epic Land champion. You know, he has the experience of being here.
Yeah.
He knows what's up.
So that'll be streamed here in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
In the lower bracket, I don't really think we know what's going on, but we'll hopefully be streaming the lower final when we get there.
Yeah.
Who do you think of these players is coming back there?
I think Eraser Blader is gonna make it to battle lorimbo. That one I think is fairly close, but with the 300 mineral CC, I think Rasa is gonna take it.
Okay, okay. From the lower, I think Ross won this. I'm guessing Figaro won this.
Yeah,
so
I think it's gonna be Figaro versus Rasa to be top 4.
Yeah, so we're just screaming there. I said, so Ross won this one. I assume Figaro beat Lilypad to get here. So this
I don't think
Figaro versus Roscoe, which I think already happened maybe. So this should be the winner of Raza versus Lorimbo against probably Figaro or maybe Ross.
I sit next to Lily, and I don't think she has played the game.
Okay,
so
we're going to hurry that along.
Yeah,
so
I think she didn't want to play when I was playing.
Okay,
because I'm sitting next to her, right?
Yeah. But then we'll have the kind of consolidation to decide who goes into the lower final, and that will be the loser of this match. So maybe you, maybe Risky, maybe Drogo.
It's not gonna be me. What are you talking about?
And then hopefully we see you back again for the final, which will be later on tonight. Oh, someone's playing Cyberpunk. We just have to think pop up.
Big.
Good game. I'm a fan.
I'm very used to being with my back against the wall. So it was even though it was entertaining, I always make best of 5s entertaining. And Lorimbo knows it. I tell him I start every best of 5 0-2 down.
You normally go 0-2 down. This was 1-1.
Yeah, this was 1-1. Yeah, but the curse is moving in different ways. It's moving like this, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe it didn't follow you on the plane. It didn't get hit.
I think so. I think it did.
We're going to throw to a quick ad break, and Drogo has invited us to lobby 8, so we'll get that set up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more StarCraft action in just a few minutes. Enjoy these messages.